do is move this one here, because I figured what the best thing I can do is actually install a PC2 node as a live demo onto my personal device, and then I can showcase kind of from the start, ground up, kind of how the system works. So that the goal really is that we're providing, you can imagine we just provide a link, a simple link that anyone can either go into their terminal or they can use in their VPS server. So like I've got one as well running on my old Contambo server, and I can connect to it from anywhere. But then the ultimate goal is to imagine that this is a package, it's software that you can run as well on a personal hardware device. So let's imagine like ElastOS, we can actually, we can have our own, there's Jets and Nanos that you can buy on the market today, there's Raspberry Pis, but let's also imagine that even ElastOS itself or partners, we can work with some teams to actually sell some limited edition boxes. And then thinking of the really big vision here, let's imagine a future where really AI chips are powerful enough where actually as individuals we can run really powerful models at home, because this is going to give the user the sovereign environment to own their own data, to have a decentralized login, so authentication, and to have decentralized file storage system to be able to connect directly to other nodes. And really the thing that I see as missing is we're going to show you that you can run local AI, but it's just not quite powerful enough for it to be meaningful. So we've allowed third-party APIs to be able to connect it in. But I really do believe in like 5 years' time, we're going to have these boxes sitting on our desktops that are going to be like almost freedom boxes that are running extremely powerful AIs. It's running ElastOS code, and you just drag and drop your files into it. Your AI agent helps you package everything, and then you're able to then basically interact on this new internet layer. So here we have, it's just been successfully installed. You access it through browser. So in this case, it's a local environment. So I can go to my browser. I can go and log in. And so the first thing you're met with is actually part of the DAO proposal that we worked on really was around working with DeepIn partners. We worked with one DeepIn partner late last year, and that's hoping to come more to fruition in the coming months with some partnerships and opportunities they have. But we actually then went and found the Boson repository, which is the Trinity team, and really it's the continuation of their work from Carrier version 2 that they've created Boson, and it uses much of the same logic and code. And so we've successfully been able to integrate in Boson. So we have DeepIn carrier nodes. And actually, I have set up on my supernode for Elacity my own carrier Boson node. And it's basically a gateway that you can assign a certain name to. So in this case, let's do test. Let's do test X. It can check. So if I did test 1, that name's been taken now as we've been doing testing. But ultimately, my supernode is offering a gateway in which you could get your own personal domain. You can actually route through it. And even more so, if you're running on a Raspberry Pi or a hardware box at home, you have a firewall that you can't get through. So the supernodes, like real carrier networks, they offer these proxies that you can effectively get through firewalls in a secure manner. So it means you can actually, from anywhere in the world, go test X Elacity, and you can connect into your personal box at home. But in this case, this is the kind of setup wizard that you're introduced to. So if I give myself a password, the password is to stop sniping. So if you've just registered yourself on the network, you can see here, we've actually, a DID has been generated. You have seed phrases. This is not on the blockchain. It's what's called a DHT server. So consensus is found through nodes joining the network and everyone agreeing. But it creates a much nicer user experience because we've just immediately set up a node. It takes less than a second. We've got our own DID, we've got our own ID, and that's going to be connected to a gateway. So in this case, this is carrier network in in operation. So now that I've done that, I can go ahead and basically log in to get to my authentication, because the first wallet that logs in is the admin wallet. So the reason for a password here is to say, if someone saw that your node was registered on the network and then they connected in and signed in before you, they could almost snipe your account. So, you know, these are small things, but things we have to think about, where when you first set up, you actually create the password, and it means now you have anyone who comes to your site, they're immediately met with needing authentication. And then after you've done this login and you've created your admin account, it's no longer necessary. The password is useless. It's forgotten. It's all about your actual decentralized identity login. So here we're booting up the ElastOS, and this is running on my device. What I might do is so I think I need to just test clearing side data. Okay, cool. So I've just booted up, and now this is again running on my computer. It's all local. We've installed Particle Network, but I'm going to officially log in to make the first admin account. So in this case, I log in and my OS is booted. So a sovereign cloud, which I'm in control of, is now registered on a supernode network of carriers, which I can access via domain, and it doesn't have to be elacity.com. The version 0.1, we would look at doing ela.net, PC2.net. We've kind of thought about how supernodes can have individual domains, but also as an individual, you might just have a custom domain that you want to create as your own. So you can join the network of carriers, and it becomes this big decentralized network, but that helps you proxy in to your personal clouds. So in this case, you can see here, it looks very much like a standard computer. You've got your apps, you've got your file storage system, everything is connected and running locally, and you have your decentralized login. So we have a wallet, we've connected in Particle Network, so you have a universal account, so you can actually receive from many different blockchains, including Solana, and you can deposit certain assets, which when you hold them, you can basically spend without having to worry about bridging. It's just one universal wallet that you have. I'm going to show some really cool AI stuff in a sec too, and how we bring this all together with Coinbase. They have Agent Kit, and there's some cool stuff there. But for now, we have this universal wallet. Then we have our EOA wallet, which is our primary wallet. It's the one I use to sign in here, and it controls the smart wallet, the universal wallet. And this again has everything that you really see in Essentials. So we've got all the chains, all the core chains, and then we also have an area here called Link Did. So I can show you quickly some work we did here. I can't do it on my local, but if I switch tabs, this is test20.ela.city. This is my VPS server. I'm running this. This is running in, I think, Germany. So we're connecting into my cloud in Germany. So here we can see I have a tethered did. We have settings, which really is your control panel for everything you need. You can see here admin wallet, my smart account, my node identity, the did that's tethered to it. But I can connect my did, because what if I want to link in my non-EVM chains like main chain ELA, Tron, and Bitcoin? You know, these are wallets that have different setups. And what you can do in Essentials, which is really cool, is you can essentially wrap them into verifiable credentials. You can tether your did, and then you can effectively tether the wallet accounts to your did so that it's synced to your PC2 node. So we start to see some really good innovation there. I put forward a request to the repository of Essentials on what needs to be done for that tethering. It's like 10 lines of code that needs to be added. But regardless, if we just want to tether the did, I've got my Essentials wallet in my hand now. So I'm going to go ahead and click the scan button. I can scan, I can accept my DID, and I should, here we go, DID linked successfully. So we're now connecting in many ways. We're trying to bring together all the kind of fractured pieces of ElastOS, which has so much, it's all warranted. It's just that it's been kind of built in different parts and it hasn't been successfully brought together. And so the goal is, with the ElastOS, we have a product which we can now start bringing in the technologies. We've got, your decentralized identity login, you've got your, we'll have the rights management system, you've got your personal finances, you've got the carrier network and how you can actually connect to your personal node, you've got the operating system environment, and then we're bringing in the agents and all of this good stuff. So it starts to become more tangible. But DIDs as well, when I think about the credential world, we can build up, PC2 nodes, personal clouds, which have reputations, so they can become trusted vendors, which you can buy and sell from in the world. So there's big opportunities in how the DID side can work up. I'm going to untether for now, but if I go back to so if I go back to my personal node, essentially when I tether up here, I just untethered, but regardless, it tethers my DID. So it creates opportunities for building reputation, for syncing wallets, and for actually just building trust and reputation in this new environment. So with that, we've got all of our system here, all the different chains, and we've got decentralized identity login. So the next area was part of our proposal was bringing in decentralized file storage system. So if I just grab some files from my Mac, I'm going to drag and drop it. So now I've got files and I've got the whole system here. We've got the ordering of everything. If I was to go to properties, everything that you put into your personal cloud, you have a private IPFS node, which is a decentralized file storage node. And then you also have a public one. So basically every file you upload, it gets a unique fingerprint on the IPFS network. Now, this is all encrypted, so no one can actually access or find it. But then when we look at our actual report, our file storage system here, if I move it to public, you can see we've got a little world. I right click, and actually this is a public IPFS node. So now we have it as public, we have a gateway. So you can actually, it can be visited, others can see it. And so when we think about at least first generation NFTs like the Bella series and all of these older NFTs, they're not encrypted, they're just, pictures that are on IPFS. Well, you can download that all to your own cloud. And that's found through every Bella has a fingerprint on it, just like these assets do, and you can just bring it in. So the public environment is really the global database of data that's available to download. And why this is so important is because when you go to Elacity, every asset on Elacity is its own encrypted good that has its own IPFS fingerprint embedded in. So it's publicly available, but it's all encrypted. So the only way you can watch this video is by buying the access token, which you can then validate against the creator's smart contract, and that gives you the key to decrypt the content itself. So when we think of it in the ElastOS environment, again, we can buy and sell digital goods and they can be available in public, but when you download and you go to play them, you can't play them because you need to have the access token, and to get the access token you have to purchase it from the exchange. So it sets up the stage for the global marketplace that's coming, and these are like just really important pieces of infrastructure where everyone has the privacy of their personal personal private IPFS, but then they have the public, and then we can buy and trade. And the more people that actually buy data and then download a copy because they want to own it, especially on the public network, the more it helps others be able to get that data faster. So it's like a content delivery network as well. So it really helps us with scalability. For Elacity, everything here is IPFS, and when ElastOS users buy a video, they don't need to just watch it from our IPFS node anymore. They can actually just download it and watch it themselves. And the same applies for everything else, like games, videos, music. When we do dApp stores, you're going to be able to download Elacity and Uniswap, and it's all going to have IPFS fingerprints, and they're going to be containers, digital capsules that you pull into your private cloud and then you run locally. So we've kind of like, just looking at the picture there, you can see here we have storage. You can come and see the rundown of your storage. You can boost the storage if you want to have more IPFS storage. You can see, basically your gateway, how much you've got, like your files, and again, everything has content IDs, SIDs, so they've got fingerprints attached to them. If we just go back here as well, I know I showed this one, but security-wise, if someone, it's small things but important things to think about. If someone was to find your find test.ela.city and go to it, they shouldn't be allowed to just log in, because then they could almost take advantage of all your resources of your node. So that's why we have the password gating at the start, to allow for you to make sure you are the admin that really logs in. And once you've established yourself as the admin owner, you can add other wallets, and then we can log out, and with that other wallet log in, and you're authenticated to be able to log in. So not everyone can just come to your node and log in and it's a free-for-all. The actual admin is the one that allows others to join in, and they can basically have control over who can access their PC2 node and who can't, and it's all through their decentralized identity, which tethers back to their seed phrases. And then you can see here we've done some more things where we can actually generate API keys, and you can share that with external AI agents, and then that can basically interact with your PC2 cloud, and you can control that too. So that in itself is really exciting when you think about some of the applications out there. But I think there's more exciting stuff that we built in with the AI stuff, which I'll show shortly. But again, your personal cloud, you can see I'm connected. You can see the kind of stats. This is running on my MacBook. If we went to my Contambo server, you can see here it's running on Linux processors, and everyone has their own cloud, their own system, and ideally it's running 24/7 and accessible anywhere in the world. And it's the vision, remember, is this is one of millions of self-hosted personal clouds, if not billions. That's the kind of, like, we want to think as big as we can here. The future is everyone is independent. They have their own self-hosted personal clouds running on their own hardware. It's above blockchain governance, and it's all of those that form the world computer, like one large brain. It's all the neurons inside. So we have storage, and then it takes us down to the AI side, and we've done lots of work on the AI side, just because I feel like the agentic approach is genuinely what excites me the most. If I think of the final product that I really want Elacity to be, it's just to be an agent. It's Flint. You see in the background, this is meant to be Flint, and Flint is your AI monetization assistant. The goal here is that you have Flint, your chatbot, and you just drag and drop whatever you want into the chat with him. He analyzes it and tells you what you want to do, or she would be Bella, and tells you the value of the data, helps you package it into a capsule. You sign with your wallet, and then you distribute it out to the world. And whether it's consumers or other agents buying it and wanting to understand it, I do think we're trying to find a way in which you can supply data to the AI economy, to the next generation AI economy, where you control the distribution, and it can all be running on your personal box. So in this case, we've got DeepSeek running locally. So here you can see DeepSeek. It's not, again, it's a 1 billion parameter model, so it's small. So to make it run locally, it can't be too powerful. Hey, how are you? So in any case, this is running on my computer. It's not, in my opinion, good enough, but again, forward thinking, we're going to have much more powerful models running. But it's just a showcase that you can run DeepSeek here. And if you run the Jetson Nano as well, you can run that again on your Jetson Nano is a hardware box. You can run that on your thing. So in any case, it has an understanding of the system. It can help you to some degree, although I don't find it overly it doesn't make me overly confident, but it's a showcase. And it's running on Llama, which is a system that allows you to run AI models locally. And even Claude recently was allowed to be run in a Llama. It's just that no one has the powerful enough GPUs to run these big models. So, you know, the next few years, I think they will, and we'll be running Claude instead of DeepSeek, or we'll be running DeepSeek, but with much more powerful parameters, because they go up to like 40 billion parameters. This is just 1 billion. But in any case, we allow you to connect in third-party API keys. So here we can add an API key. So if I go to Claude, I can create an API. And for me, it's where it gets more exciting because it's much more powerful now. So if I do default demo, so I've created an API key. I have $5 credit. I mean, I've barely touched. I've been using it a lot, and it's not really gone down. So it's pretty good. But in any case, I'm going to add my API key. Again, all encrypted, all authenticated through your decentralized identity, and all local on your own device. So I've created this. I can close and open this. See, it's Claude now by default. And hey, how are you? We can start thinking about spending lots of time on SDKs and APIs in the background, and how your agent can actually interact with your whole file system. And it gets even more so, which I'll show in a sec. But hey, how are you? Please create 5 folders on my desktop named after city animals. So we can see here, I'm connected into my AI, and it will just go ahead and process my request and create the 5 folders. Goofy platypus, derpy llama, some sound like some good memes right here. Yeah, and we can go a step further and say, okay, create a folder called wrong, put inside 5 more folders with goofy name, and add a text file with a story about ElastOS. Make it funny. So we can kind of think about, okay, now we're going to ramp it up a little bit more and be a little bit more complex. And again, a lot of work been done on contextual awareness as well. So contextual awareness is how the AI processes data, how it can route the data, but then also how it can remember data from the past. And if this is all, again, thinking of it in your own personal cloud, it's private. What we want to imagine as well is using the Boson network to actually allow you to connect to third-party IoT devices, and then you can have like your personal health scales or your robot. I mean, even having like a humanoid robot, which is going to come, do you want that robot connected to a corporate cloud, which could potentially get hacked? Or would you rather it just be connected to your personal PC2 cloud at home, and all the data it produces is private and it's sent to your personal cloud and you're in control of it? And and the only way to get in is through having the seed phrases to your wallet. That's the kind of future that we want to imagine, where you've got that security, and it decentralizes security away from these big kind of big systems that are just attack vectors. So we've created this, got 5 again, and then we have a story inside about ElastOS. So again, this is showcasing where we can take this, because we can just continue to advance this, and it can continue to get more exciting on what the AI can do, which for me is bringing in the DRM and saying package stuff for me and sign off. So the next step that we did on the AI side is connecting the AI to be able to interact with your universal wallet. So this is Particle, your universal, this one that I spoke about. And really it's connected. We've done a connection through Coinbase Agent Kit, where we effectively can say to the AI, hey, what is my balance? So you can get it to start interacting actually with your wallet, and it can tell what is your core wallet, so with my ELA, or what is my agent account, which is my universal account. So you can see here, I have some ETH, I have some USDC, and so then I can go a step further and say, hey, can you send 10 cent worth of USDC to my core account? And again, now it's going to start interacting with the particle connections we've made, and it will actually then prompt and understanding the request, it will prompt for me to do a sign. And if I go back in the wallet, I have activity and I have a pending signature now. So it's a timed signature, it will expire, but I can actually go ahead and sign it. So I'm signing, because my wallet, my EOA account is the master account, it always has to be signed by me. But in this case, I've just signed it, the transaction's been made, and if I was to go base dot, oh no, let's do base explorer, and then go to the actual thing, we can see here internal transactions. So 18 seconds ago, 10 cent was sent. So again, the agentic control over not only owning your own cloud, but actually helping you own your finances and helping you route and do complex things. Like, no one's really combined AI with at least a universal system. The universal, this is a smart contract owned by my core account, and I've now got that smart contract being able to interact with my AI agent. So it's almost, I'm tempted just to change universal to just agent, and you've got your agent account and you've got your core account, and your agent account just makes life easy. It just routes things and does things quickly for you. So that's a good look at kind of where the AI side has been built on and where that can go. I genuinely think there's a lot that can come from that. And another area as well was, so if we go back to AI Assistant, in the last week or so, there's been a huge buzz around Claude bots. So Claude bots, this essentially this way in which you can run AI locally, but it's on your computer, and the computer can then interact with your file system, and it's kind of stuff that I'm showing here. But you can also, what's interesting is connect it to third-party apps, and then you can basically talk to your computer, or you can talk to your Claude bot and get it to do things. Now, ironically, there's been a load of security vulnerabilities that come from that, which is why this kind of stuff is important, because you have a wallet authentication system. But regardless, I was playing around with it this week, and actually it's quite cool, some of the stuff I was working on, and we can connect in, for this case, we've just done Telegram, but you can connect in a Telegram, you can create an agent, you can fill in the agent details, it's again connected to your AI model, give it the instructions, and then you can, with our system and what we've done, we've said you can give it access to read your files, to write your files, or to view your wallet. But actually what I've done, and you can connect it to Telegram, but what I've done on my VPS server here is I've actually created a Telegram bot called Flint. The Flint is here to help people with PC2 and understanding. So I've given it a whole load of instructions on what it can do. And then if we jump over to Telegram, we can see here, I actually have Flintbot. And now I haven't done it yet, but I can add this into Council. I can add it into Elacity, into ElastOS community. But I can say, hey, Flint, what is ElastOS? So now I'm directly talking to my PC2, which is actually able to then communicate back to Telegram. And so this is providing information about Elacity, so sorry, ElastOS, and really it can help. Can you help me set up my own PC2 node? So really here we can imagine just for like day-to-day support, but anyone in their PC2 node can spin up agents and they can be created really quickly. You're using this bot father to generate a bot, and then you're connecting. It gives you a string of letters that you connect into your PC2, and then it's all synced up. But here, like, you know, we've got options and you can just go through the process. On the flip side, you might give your bot the ability to read and write files. So it's not for community, but it's just for you personally. So now you can be out and about, and actually you can be talking to your PC2 cloud, and it can be supporting you, but in WhatsApp or in Telegram, in really popular chat apps. And even more so, my thoughts are is with the restrictions that the App Store has, you know, we can create an app that is just literally a chat app, but more than anything like a voice. You just talk to Flint or talk to Bella as just like a voice agent, but it has in the back end, it connects to your PC2 cloud, and it has control over a whole OS that you can basically, you know, because you can create multiple different segregated accounts. One can be purely for your agent. It has access to a wallet. It has access to, you know, the ability to move files, create files, and do whatever you like. And then when we talk about the App Store and bringing in the applications and how it can then interact with all of that, you know, it starts to get really exciting because you have ways in which you can talk and get involved with it. And you know, here is a showcase of it working. So I think next week when I lay out more strategy moving forward, I'll bring the Flint bot in to support with the setup and let people use it. I think that'll be helpful, and it's running from my cloud, and it's on 24/7 from my my Contambo cloud. Okay, so we've got decentralized identity login, decentralized storage, we've got AI, we've got Claude bots, we've got universal transactions. Work that we've also been doing includes the actual apps themselves. So a first showcase of just running WASM, which is WebAssembly. Again, the media player in the media player, let me just jump back to this one actually. The media player in Elacity here, this is a WASM runtime player. So this is running on my device. It checks against the blockchain and validates rights, and it then reads from IPFS the data and securely plays it back. Because we're doing a completely new system here with the OS environment, we need to test WASM out in different ways. So this is one version of WASM that just basically showcases that we can actually do calculations on your personal cloud. And then we have another WASM, which is a different type of WASM, where you can actually just upload a file and you can actually get, I don't think I have a file to upload, but you can basically just get the text and the information on it. Nothing special, but just showcasing to us that we can run these types of WASMs in the environment. I've done an ElastOS DAO just for simplicity. So you know, when we think about the DID connectivity, we can then make it more complex. But right now, just the simple ability to be able to read, to understand what's going on in the DAO. We've got the proposals, you can understand the proposals. And then we have the council as well. And just very simple, but again, just gives insights into the DAO, be it that, you know, the DAO is the one that's really funding this whole operation. So, you know, if we continue to drive ElastOS forward, you know, I do think the DAO's involvement is so critical here and key. It is the community voice and kind of at the core, the heart and soul of the governance of the ElastOS system. So we've got that, and then the big one is the big one is then actually the dApp Center itself. So Elacity, we've got a full SDK that's just being finalized. It's pretty much there. We've done different types of testing and has shared some of this on the Elacity chat, but we're basically coming into the point now where we've got all the sovereign pieces for a personal PC2 node and for the community to start testing. And really the next phase is then actually bringing in all the exchange value, the markets, the general purpose applications. We're talking and working with Boson to bring in peer-to-peer connectivity directly between nodes, so we can bring in the messaging and chat, and basically just maturing this. If you think we're going down a rabbit hole, we have a product now. Now let's think about how we can start building up connectivity in markets. And really, there's 4 quadrants to ElastOS, and I don't have it on me right now, but I will share the strategy next week. But if we really are serious about moving forward on this, which I think we should be, I'm seeing Vitalik talking about the world computer and off-chain compute now. I'm seeing Balaji even today talking about compute. It's coming up more and more as a topic where people are realizing that, like, their data is scattered everywhere, and AI is allowing them to do so much more that it almost makes sense to organize everything into these kinds of personal cloud environments. And they say everything's about timing. So in the past, people have tried to do personal servers and they've kind of failed. But it's not because it's invalidated, it's because the timing's never been right. And I do think the timing is getting increasingly more right, even if you're connecting into an API for your AI. But if everything else is completely sovereign on your node, and then we can provide a business model for developers, for creators. It's not just own your own data, it's own your own distribution. The ability to, rather than going to a corporate cloud to distribute data where they really just take the value, you don't get any equity back, you kind of get revenue share later on, but the real equity is in the stock of that platform. But when we say you can just tokenize every type of asset into your own distribution channel, you're turning your asset into capital, and every single one of those assets is like a vending machine that can just generate value or generate you income. And if you're feeding it into an AI economy, not just a consumer economy like individuals, and then you've got agents which have market caps which can be traded, but though they invest their value into buying up capsules and data and then creating intelligence from it, and then offering a subscription model for that agent if someone wants to understand what it's learned. Everyone gets paid. There's money that flows back down, and it's whether you're an investor, you get the return on investment from subscriptions of agents, or you're the person who's encouraged just to throw in as much data as possible into your distribution channel and have agents or individuals buy it up. And then building a reputation with your DID. Like, you want to have trusted vendors. You don't want to just be on a black market. So, the connectivity here, I think, is really important, and having a credential market where you get ticks for completing certain things, or for like providing KYC, or just doing or validating friends. I don't know, all these kinds of credential markets. I mean, in the future, we should imagine even passports, or driver's license, or credentials for graduating certain courses at school, because then you can be selling capsules related to a certain topic, and you can prove that you are an expert in that topic. And one day you might even package capsules together with many other experts, and together you actually bundle data to sell. But there's and we can do that with channels, because channels are the ability to aggregate libraries inside. So I just see this as like, wow, you just keep going down this rabbit hole, and it just gets more and more interesting and exciting. And again, at some point, the timing will click and the interest will be there. But at the very least, this is a kind of showcase of where we are now. I can also show you a map. So we have map.ela.city. So in this case, you can see the nodes that are on the network. We have the super node, which is my Elacity node. Part of our strategy moving forward is to encourage more super nodes. I mean, really, we want the council nodes to have a business model in offering this. So you want to have a baseline service which is free, like now, but then you can add staking opportunities to get certain privileges, and it might even be that you hold. I'm less of a fan of expecting people to have to continuously pay and subscribe, but rather say, look, if you hold $100 worth of ELA and you pledge it from your wallet, you get X amount, if not, these privileges for this super node. So we want, the more PC2s that join, and we want to imagine millions, billions, they're all incentivized to hold just $100 worth of ELA because they're going to get privileges in the supernodes. And the supernodes, the council supernodes is one layer, but then we can also allow lightweight nodes as well with PC2s and BPOS nodes, and we can create this kind of new collaborative ecosystem where the more the people join the network, the more resilient it becomes. And the purpose of this is that you can get behind firewalls. So it doesn't matter where you are in the world, you can always reach the actual your PC2 node, and be it sitting on your desk. So that's a kind of update. I don't think there's too much more. There's boring stuff, just like having to be able to update your, having the need to be able to back up your cloud. So, you can create backups and you can drag and drop to restore. But apart from that, we're pretty much looking good. The core of, from what I see from the proposal, plus quite a lot more with all the AI and the wallets and everything that I've shown, I feel like we've surpassed the original goal. And the next stage really is about just maturing and continuously maturing this. And I'd like to do a limited edition number of NAS stations, maybe in March. End of February, the Bosun team will provide us with a version 2. So we'll start bringing in the chat applications, the ability to connect to your personal IoT devices and to actually derive data and have a direct link with personal devices at home. And then bringing in Elacity, the SDKs means we can start to really build in the markets and the actual exchanges. So we do have connectivity between clouds through IPFS and public IPFS through here. So we can share data through IPFS now. But I just think we just continue down this route and again build in business and opportunities for ELA holders and stakers too. So that's a kind of look at everything that's been done. And excited. Hopefully next week the goal is to actually share this, and it should be a very simple command that you can just paste in your terminal. This is running locally, so if I close my laptop, it's inaccessible, so this isn't really ideal, but my Contambo is 24/7 running. I can access it anywhere. It proxies in. And I just hope we can see a future where it's not even on a Contambo, which I pay. This one I pay about $20 a month, but you can get ones that are $6 a month. But like really, we want to imagine personal hardware devices sitting at home, and so that's kind of the end goal, with powerful enough AI chips to run big models. So everything you've seen here would just be all compute that's happening at home. But okay. That's a look at where we are today, and if you have any thoughts or questions, just please let me know.